Welcome to a brief demo of Des Moines Public Schools Learning Management System Canvas. I'm going to show you a few things today that will give you kind of an overview of what Canvas has to offer, both from the instructor standpoint and take you into a class or two and show you what the student experience can be like. So right now I have logged into Canvas using my district credentials. It is web-based, so you just simply point your favorite web browser to the address that you can see right up here, dmschools.instructure.com, and you can sign in using your district login and password. This is the dashboard view, the home view. Right up here, you can see some global announcements. This one is a Welcome to Canvas announcement. We can have teacher announcements, student announcements, and announcements for everyone in the district. And this one talks a little bit about how to get started, and it tells you right down here who this message is intended for. And teachers and users have the functionality that allows them to read those and keep them up there or leave them. Over here is the global navigation bar, and this is where all of the most important things live, and those are always up and available no matter what view you're looking at. You'll notice up here that this is branded with Des Moines Public Schools logo and colors. It helps visitors to the site know that they've at least landed in the right place. There's your account information here. Most folks won't see this admin shield. This is only for people who work on the back end of Canvas, like myself. You can see here, this is highlighted because we are in the dashboard view. It's kind of like the catch-all of your most important stuff. In the dashboard view, you can see there are tiles for courses rather than a list. And these are all the courses that I'm either a part of as a student or a teacher. So if you're a teacher who has, for instance, a PLC course built in Canvas, it might live up here. Also in this dashboard view is your to-do list and your calendar, what's coming up. Some recent feedback. So if I'm a student and I've had feedback from an instructor, it might appear here. A link to see that feedback would appear here. And there's a couple of tabs here, depending on your job role. You could start a new course or view your grades. Coming back to the global navigation bar, you can also see here that you have a full list of your courses. They can be listed right here for easy viewing. But if you're like me, and I hope students don't get to be this way, but if you are like me, you might have a very long list of courses you're a part of, and you can come down here and see all courses. I'm going to click on that because there's a cool function here, and that's this little star toggle. You can decide which courses appear on your dashboard and which do not. It also tells you what term you're in, what role you're enrolled as. As you can see, I'm a teacher in a lot of classes, but I'm also a student in a few, and whether or not this course has been published, and that means it's ready for student or teacher access. There's another tab here, the groups that you can be made a part of. Those can be formal and informal groups. There's a calendar function here, and it'll tell me when I click on it, it will take me to that calendar. And it'll tell me what's happening in all my classes with a color-coded view. So you can see all the calendars for the courses I'm a part of. And I can add a few things in here and click them and see just stuff from that specific course. There is an internal mail system here, an inbox, and there's some nice things. You can just send messages to your class, a specific class. So for instance, if I wanted to send a message to all of my econ students, I could click here and send it just specifically to them and write a little message here. Also on the global navigation bar, you'll find this terrific link, and this goes to Commons. Canvas comes already provisioned with your courses and your rosters as a teacher, but those courses are blank. There's nothing automatically built in them. So there's a couple of ways you can, as a teacher, start to put information and content into a course. One of those ways, you can build it from the ground up using stuff that you've been working on, curating, collecting over the course of your teaching career in that class. You can also get some courses and some course materials from what's called Commons. That's here. I clicked on this little Commons link in my global navigation, and it brought me here. This is indeed a global common sharing place for instructional materials. These are not vetted, so just like any kind of instructional materials, we want teachers to be critical consumers of the content, and so there's stuff in here that's terrific and stuff in here that's not so good, or maybe not aligned or coherent with our scales, our standards, our goals, and our targets. So there is one way to get to stuff that just Des Moines Public Schools teachers have created. So right now you're seeing that this is a public resource. There's over 36,000 pieces of content to select or to look through or choose from. But we just want to see not public resources, but our own private institutional resources. That pares that down to still a hefty 166. And so many of these things are teacher created in here. They're created by teachers throughout the district who have voluntarily shared them to our common space, our district common space. But there are some courses that have gone through a robust vetting and building process. Last year, we began hiring teachers in our district who were teaching the courses to build courses in Canvas, and with the help of an assigned instructional technology coordinator and their curriculum coordinator, vet the content for instructional design and adherence to scales. So those courses have a couple of visual cues so you know which those are. English 1 is a good example right here. It has this blue and yellow frame that tells us that it is a course that's been vetted and gone through this building process by district folks. You'll also know that they may say Flex Ready. They're ready for Flex courses because teachers in the Flex Academy started using these courses back in August, right after the kind of early inception of the work. And you'll also know that the byline says DMPS. These have been uploaded by DMPS. Others will have teacher names, as you can see here. But those three ways are ways to know that you're finding coursework that has been through a development and a vetting process. When you click on one of those courses, it takes you to some more information. It's shared with just Des Moines Independent Schools. It can be reviewed. It gives you information about the grade level. It has some tags here and says it's Flex Ready, and teachers can import that into the course of their choosing, either one they've created or one that's been automatically provisioned by Infinite Campus. So that's a little bit about Commons. Let's look at the final tab or the final link on our global navigation bar, and that's Help. There is a lot of help set up here for teachers to use and users really to access as they're working in Canvas. First is this link about searching the Canvas guides. Within Canvas itself, there are an enormous number of guides with images, clear instructions, and videos that can help you do just about anything. In fact, those of us who are on the admin side of Canvas, when I don't know something, that's my first stop, or I point teachers there as well. We have a Canvas support hotline. This is a dedicated Des Moines Public Schools number. So when a teacher calls this number or an administrator calls this number, the person on the other end automatically knows that they're speaking with someone from Des Moines Public Schools, and so they know we have Infinite Campus. They kind of know a few things about what we've been working on and what our structures are, and so they can answer your questions more efficiently. It's hard sometimes if you're in the middle of a class to get on the phone and talk, and so there's a chat, so you can live chat with a Canvas support person. You can ask your instructor a question via help. This will take you to the DMPS web help desk. Sometimes we have questions that are not necessarily for Canvas, but are for our DMPS folks who support us in technology, and this will link you right to their chat system. You can report a problem with Canvas here. There's an enormous community of Canvas users all around the world. And so crowdsourcing answers is one way to get some help. So you can ask the community. You can submit a feature idea. If you would like a link here or a button there, you could submit an idea to Canvas itself and they will put it in their queue for consideration or add it with others who have also requested the same thing and move it up their issues log list. And down here is a Canvas course feedback. If you're using a course like English 1 Semester 2 and you're finding something is wrong with it, or you have an idea or a resource that might want to be added, you could click here and it will allow you to add some course feedback, and that comes directly to the team that's supporting the build of those courses. Okay, so we've made it through our global navigation bar. Let's go back to our dashboard. That's kind of your landing page. It's a good one it'll take you just about anywhere that you most want to spend your time. And let's look at a course first from a teacher point of view and then from a student point of view. I want to take you to Algebra 1. So I'm going to click simply on this tile. And this is the teacher viewpoint, but you can see that teachers have access to all of these things, and some of them are grayed out. That doesn't mean they're not accessible. It just means that the teacher has either turned that off for students because it's not a feature that they will need, or they haven't put anything in that category. You can see there's a home page. There's a place for announcements. Here's a complete list of assignments associated with the course. You can create discussion boards. Here's where you would go to find out your grades. Right now, we have not completed our work to achieve grade passback between Campus and Infinite Campus, but something we're actively working on and getting closer to every day. So thinking about using Canvas as your teaching and learning portal is important until we have a way to pass those grades back. And until then, Infinite Campus would be your grade book of record. There's a syllabus page, quizzes. Modules are essentially just organizational structures for content. You can kind of think of them like units, and a module would house everything associated with that unit, the content, the assessments, the assignments, things like that. And there's a couple of other things here that this teacher is not using yet, and then the settings. So let's look at a course right now from the student standpoint, really the end user. Since I'm in the teacher mode, I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to click on this student view, and that will take me to a screen that shows me what it looks like from a student's point of view. Really importantly, right away, there's some Des Moines branding that helps me again know that I'm in the right place and in the right course. It's really clearly delineated here. There's a course description, our topics that should match our curriculum guides. Also a note that gradebook is the gradebook of record is Infinite Campus, and a little note about prerequisites here. We this summer worked to design some common buttons and some common branding that teachers could use themselves. So teachers have access to this already. And so it gives kids some really clear places to go next. You can see there's the Start Here button, which we'll come right back to. Modules, so you can see everything that's associated with the course. Some assessments that you could jump right to. A place to meet your teacher. We know that face-to-face instruction is for almost every student the best modality for learning. However, not all students learn that way, and one of our goals is to reach kids for whom the online experience is going to be the most successful. But that doesn't mean that we can't skip over the relationship piece. So there's a Meet Your Teacher button here that will take you to a Meet Your Teacher page. And of course, teachers, when they pull down this content, are guided in how to create their own Meet the Teacher page. And an evaluation for the course itself, because as we develop these in a spirit of continuous improvement, we definitely want to hear from the end users, our students, about what's working and what's not for their learning. Let's go back to the Start Here button. It's clearly labeled, so as a student, I would know that I need to start there. Once I click on that, it takes me to an overview page where I understand my learning target, the structure of the course, what the modules are. It's all explained to the student as a part of good instructional design. Our pages, our assignments, our discussions, quizzes, and then this great question, how do I start learning? You can follow these links it tells you, or use the navigation buttons at the bottom of the page. It's a well-designed sort of foundational introduction to the overall structure of the course. I'm going to click next, and you can notice even when I hover over it, it tells me where I'm going. It's taking me to my next module, which is the exponential properties module. We have linked our modules and our work to our scales, so those appear directly on many of the pages, and explains what this means. This has been done by a teacher here in Des Moines quite well. I'm going to keep hitting next to show you a few more of these designed pages. Here's a review of exponent properties. There's a nice table there. You can notice that they can use, in fact, formulas and mathematical notation when teachers build that, so students have access to that, and students can respond with that same kind of mathematical notation. Here's a YouTube video that's embedded right in this page. One of the great things about Canvas is that students do not have to leave the platform to access this video. And what that means is they then hopefully will not get all caught up in advertisements because they're scrubbed of advertisements, and won't be tempted by the what's next or watch this next video. So they play native right in the platform, and so kids can stay in and hopefully stay engaged with content rather than be tempted by checking out that next video. So this is an assignment piece, and this assignment does not count toward the final grade. You'll notice this is a practice assignment, so there's nothing that's being submitted, but there's a link there that will take them out to a page to work on, and it tells the students what the activity consists of. Again, here's another content page. Gives kids a little bit of content, bite-sized chunks, and avoiding the scroll of death is good instructional practice um, that's being implemented here. Here is actually something that they would submit right here. They've used an app, GeoGebra, and you can actually simplify the expression here. You can show the answer, you can get a new problem. It's a great app that they've embedded right into this page for student practice. You can see the same things here. Let's go to some assignments where a student might submit something. Okay, so let's look at a quiz. Here is the instruction, the learning goal, and the target is highlighted right here. There's directions, and it allows me to take the quiz. You can see it's 5 points, or 5 questions, excuse me. You can take the quiz. This is one of the ways we allow teachers to proctor a quiz. Students would be provided with an access code by the teacher, so that they can have all of the conditions in place for academic integrity. All right. So let's go back to home, and I'm going to leave the student view. And I'm going to go to another course on my dashboard. And this is a course we actually used with adults because I want to show a speed grader function. One of the things that makes this course or this kind of teaching so effective and efficient for teachers. So in this course, like I said, this is set up for adults, and there are a few assignments. Let's find one of the assignments. And this one is a work log. So I was having content developers submit their work log, their hours that they were using to build these courses via an assignment in Canvas. So let's check it out. So this was the instructions that they were given. They had a work log document right here. And one of the great things about Canvas is that when I want an electronic document, which I can ask students for, an electronic document like a Word document, they can fill in a text box. They can even, right here within Canvas, take a video of themselves answering a question. You can do any of those things in here. But once they've uploaded their electronic document, I can use this feature called SpeedGrader right here. And rather than have an inbox full of 30 different assignments or attachments from students, they all live right here in the platform itself. So here's Hannah's. I can tell when she submitted it. I can provide her a grade right here. This is complete, so that's great. I can add comments. I can record a video of myself saying, Hannah, thank you for submitting this. I can see you've done X, Y, and Z, and that matches our targets here. Um, I can, oh, it's thinking. I can also highlight and annotate her work right here without ever having to leave the platform. So it's pretty great. And then I can cycle through my student submissions just like this. All right, so let's leave SpeedGrader. That is really an overview of the Canvas LMS platform. Um, for you can see maybe for use in a traditional classroom to submit assignments, just like you saw there, all the way to the other end of the spectrum for a fully online school experience.